absolutely know and agree and even come up with the idea that this needs to
and
be
then not
streamlined.
follow it at all.
and then to give in to the character that's going to be speaking for the rest of the time is like they get their jollies off on. I'm like, yeah, but what about that over there?
Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, the ruining of direction in conversation is probably like my fourth like greatest attribute. Like, oh, hey guys, they don't want to go left, but like, did you look left?
It's odd that you call it an attribute.
I'm not shocked that you would feel that way.
Well, it's something.
Or that you would deem it as a positive attribute. Hey, me shitting
also
on the plans.
Not shocked
also,
by your take on that.
Me shitting on the plans that have been set out beforehand. One of my favorite things to do.
I feel like if you were an RPG character, it would just be like a neutral trait. Like, take it or leave it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, you know? It's like one of those things.
Card.
Sometimes it debuffs you, sometimes it buffs you. You don't know what's going to happen.
It's true. Like, you get to roll a dice after your turn, and if you get above an 11, then you blink out of existence. But otherwise, you got to deal with me.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, should we
get in the air? Just feels good to get some of that in there.
I've been watching. I'm trying to get my
involved.
My MCS Madden Championship Series tokens. I've been getting those because they're giving away a free 88 Micah Parsons, who's gonna wreck the game. This Micah Parsons card is gonna be nasty for like a couple of weeks, and I'm like, I'm getting that free Micah Parsons. So I've just been in the background on my phone. I've had my phone unlocked and just streaming it in the background. And like while I've been driving and doing shit, like in between, I'm like listening.
Just have it loading.
Well, because it's what it is the best players in the world, like the best Madden players in the world, are having a tournament right now, and they're playing each other. So it is kind of interesting too. But yeah, anyway, so it's playing in the background of my phone, but I just made it so I can't see it, so I'm not distracted, and there's no volume, so we're good. But anyway, should we get into it? And I think should we just go right down the line and start with Trish 101, and we just
her
team works for me.
I mean, we need this had to be some sort of edit process here because like this is a pretty rough. Like, let's get into our draft board. You know.
Well, I mean, so here's what we're doing, folks. Let's jump into it. Okay, let's do an official.
There it is.
For Tony, yes, okay, so here's what we're doing.
Let's set a framework for him to shit on in a few minutes.
Yeah,
thank you. Like
that he wants this.
If it's already
it's on, isn't it?
Like flinging shit onto it, you're just making a mess.
The guy asked.
He's gonna shit on his cake and eat it too.
Hey, well, so I gotta do that in prison once. So hey, anyway, so here's what we're doing. Okay. We got the 2023 Dundee League season. You were there. You were square. Maybe you weren't, and you got kicked out. Okay. Now, all I'm trying to say was we had a good draft. We had a good time. There's been some topsy-turvy movement in the league, but here we are a few days from the start of the season, and we're going to be breaking down everybody's draft. That's what we did. We gave you all the knowledge in the offseason. Now the chips are down, and it's time to put up or shut up. Who's taking home the trophy? It ain't going to be Mr. Wilson. You see the holes in his team.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
But anyway, so without further ado, we're going to be breaking down everybody's team. Like we said, whether or not we edit that part out or not, we're going to do 4 or 5 quick minutes. Each team, break them down, strengths, weaknesses, and we'll give you a little preview at the end, a amuse-bouche, as we like to say, for the week 1 matchups, and then we'll get out of here. No, Jay, hey, come on, man. Callbacks. Come on, kid. Been smoking too many joints today or what?
Moose boosh.
A moose boosh.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Come on, man. Show some fucking culture every now and then, huh?
Yeah, right? No? Step outside of your box.
I like a box.
Well, hey, can't fault you for that. Now, anyway, Trish's team, the 101 pick. Should we start by saying, no surprise, JJ off the board. I don't even think there's anything that needs to be said. It was the right pick. It was the pick that needed to be made.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was as obvious as the JT pick last year.
Yeah, and, hopefully bears more fruit for Trish's sake. I think it will. It would be odd to see JJ have a bad year barring any type of injury. But, I mean, that's what happened to Taylor last year, So then she goes Joe Mixon. I think – that's a fine pick, kind of seeing who was there on the board. I'm not mad at it. There was probably some maybe other players that could have been considered there, but honestly, coming back around right there, I don't know who else you would have taken. Maybe Aaron Jones or Jahmyr Gibbs, but Joe Mixon's going to get all that volume, so I'm not mad at that pick as your RB1.
Joe Mixon as your RB1, just fine.
Yeah.
Well, she had it right on the back turn of the second round too, so she took Joe Mixon and Devonta Smith basically at the same time. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
The only thing with Devonta Smith, real quick, there could be some regression there. We'll see. I do think the Eagles are going to be more close games. They're going to have to throw the ball more. But are they going to be as efficient as they were last year? I mean, time will tell. I hope so. I got A.J. Brown. But, Devonta is the 2 in that offense. So, if there is a massive regression overall, he probably suffers from it a little bit more than the 1, you would assume.
Yeah.
Based on the seasons they both had last year.
But looking at your team, your wide receiver 2, Devontae Smith, loving it.
Yeah, fine. And then
I have PPR having Justin Jefferson and Smith for the receptions they're probably going to get. You can't lose.
Yeah, well, I mean, Smith's going to get receptions, right? But I feel more about him as like an upside guy. Jefferson is going to command 30% target share, every week, in and out. If you don't give that man 10 to 15 targets, then like it's criminal. He's the best wide receiver in the game, and it ain't really close.
Nope.
Ken Walker, 4th pick. There's question marks there, but explosive runner, a lot of upside. If Pete Carroll gives him the reins, then Trish is going to have.
I don't like having to start Ken Walker every week, though.
I don't like that either.
You've got a decent mix behind him, though, with because if you're looking at her running back too, she'll have A-Chain, Gibson, and Pacheco, and hopefully one of them pans out for a flex spot or an RB2.
That's true.
With Jeff Wilson going down too, though, that boosts A-Chain stats.
A-Chain stock went up majorly because he just came back from injury too. He's practicing, so he's going to play this week. And that man is lightning in a bottle. And now there's one less body in front of him. You give that guy 5-10 touches a week in that offense with that little mastermind and Mike McDaniels, that dude's going to take one to the house more often than not. I see it.
The amount of speed that is in Miami is insane.
It's so much fun. They're all fast.
I wish they went and got Lamar Jackson.
That would have been ridiculous. They would have had to come up with some type of name.
That's the tangent.
Yeah,
nope,
that's
don't
the
follow
one.
that one.
Nope. All right. Anyway, so you get Chris Godwin in there as your wide receiver 3. Solid again. We're talking volume there, Mr. Chris Godwin. The rest of them, we'll see if any of them come through. She's got Treylon Burks. Evan Ingram's fine at tight end, right? He's probably going to be fine.
One noteworthy part of her team is that she's got the Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon stack. So she's Cincinnati dependent, which if you're going to be dependent on a team, that's one of the ones in that group. But they're going to have bad weeks probably.
Yeah, and it'll cost you.
Yeah, and she might, but overall, I mean, well done. Very balanced team from Trish. We've seen her in the last few years go too hard in one direction or the other, and it's cost her. This year's probably her most balanced team that she's ever drafted.
Yeah,
and she's got a formidable squad.
She does, and if she stays active in trades and in waivers, she should have a team to contend for the playoffs.
Absolutely. Should we get into Erica?
Yep.
Her team. So Erica, I've been saying this, and it's kind of galling to me. Just right off the top, I think Erica drafted a better team than me, and it hurts my soul. I think she drafted a better team than me, and it kind of sucks. And the reason being,
what in the Alexander Madison makes you think that?
And let me just say that I think maybe part of the reason you think that is because she drafted a lot of players you were probably talking about around the house, because she admitted to having done zero prep until the night before the draft.
All she does is listen to me, and then she just like, oh yeah, I heard him say this name. I'll take him now. I was like, God damn it. Because every year she takes 3 or 4 guys that I'm like, oh, I'll get them. And then, there goes Cam Akers. There goes Zay Flowers.
You know what that means? That means Erica's getting 4th place this year because she took all the guys Patrick wanted.
And I'm taking 3rd. Let's go, baby. All right. Just like last year. No,
so let's actually talk about her team.
Yeah, she gets Jamar Chase. Great. Burrow's back. As long as Burrow stays healthy, Jamar Chase is there. And here's the thing. Jamar Chase has more touchdown upside than JJ does because he plays with a better quarterback, and he's better. He has, so Justin Jefferson has big playability too, right? But Jamar Chase is a more physical wide receiver than Jefferson is, I would say. He's got a little bit more in that regard.
I would declare either of those two as very physical receivers. Their route running is insane, and they get separation against people that you're not supposed to.
Chase is a more powerful at the point of attack wide receiver, though. Jefferson is also crazy athletic, right? But if you look at their builds, Chase is a stronger build type player. You know what I mean? I feel like if you compare their weights and everything else, like he's got a little bit more power to him. And statistically, over the last few years, he's scored more touchdowns. It's just because JJ scores a lot of touchdowns also, and he has just a ridiculous amount of yards and targets and receptions,
But number 2 overall pick, right down the line.
Yeah. Now, Josh Jacobs is he either could do what he did last year, or there's not a great track record for guys other than Derrick Henry. Okay. Derrick Henry and Ezekiel Elliott are the only two that have put up 300 carry seasons and then come right back and a top 12 running back the next year. It doesn't happen often because of the amount of toll that takes on your body. However, Josh Jacobs is quoted in the offseason saying this is the only offseason in his NFL career where he did not have a boo-boo or something that he needed to recover from in the offseason. He went into the offseason and he felt great. And so he was putting on performance. He was putting on muscle in the offseason. He was like, I'm not recovering from anything. I'm just getting better. So if that's true, then he might be the third guy in the last decade or so to come right back and to put up another stellar performance.
Well, and with the running back battle, as far as contracts are concerned, he went and got himself another 1-year contract, another prove-it year for Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
Who after one prove-it year did what he did. So
yeah. And then there's so much hype around Calvin Ridley. I mean, you watch that man run routes.
That's my favorite pick.
I hate that she got Calvin Ridley.
And it was the biggest, under my breath, fuck, that I muttered when somebody else went off the board. I was eyeballing him about 3 picks later.
Her starting lineup, honestly, gives me the willies a little bit. I think she's got a hell of a starting lineup. Because you throw Cam Akers as your RB2 with the amount of volume he's going to get because of the Sean McVay love and how he finished last season. Now, they have a shit offensive line. They do. I was going through PFF
off
today.
the Akers wagon. I think that's a big spot.
I think that's how I think she looks vulnerable for the first time.
Because if it doesn't pan out, she has to play either who she got, AJ Dillon, Raheem Mostert, or Charbonnet. That's all she's got left.
For the
and
first
if it does
few
pan
weeks,
out, that's her best flex option at running back.
For the first few weeks, she's going to be able to lean on Raheem Mostert. He's going to be the guy down there. He's going to get 15 touches a game. He has to.
That's even assuming that he lasts 3 games. That man is made of glass.
That's fair, but she's got Charbonnet. Charbonnet's going to get 5 to 10 carries, so will Dillon. They can fill in. If she's going to get the performance out of her wide receivers that I think she can, out of those top 2, and then you drop down to a target monster in Deontay Johnson and potentially the best wide receiver in Baltimore, Zay Flowers, because I think he's probably the one. Watching that dude in the preseason, the way he moved and the way they plan to use him on the same field with a still banged up Rashad Bateman, a currently banged up Mark Andrews, which scares me, and then an old man Odell Beckham. I think it's Zay Flowers' year. I think Zay Flowers is going to probably come out and be the best rookie wide receiver.
A lot of hype around him. And not only does she have Calvin Ridley, but she's got the Trevor Lawrence stack with him.
Yep. She loves
it sounds like to me that Erica is in a situation where she can probably trade a receiver to get a running back, and she probably should.
Yeah, she's got a lot of wide receiver depth and
not an RB2.
And I also think that Alec Pierce is very well suited for the type of quarterback that Richardson is. Richardson is a run threat. Defenses are going to have to play up, and he's got a huge arm. And there's been multiple times, again, in the offseason and in the preseason games where Alec Pierce, with his speed, because he's deceptively fast, that man's got a 4.4 240. Alec Pierce. He's a burner.
Why is it so deceptive?
Because he's a lanky white guy. You don't expect it. All right, you understand why. He's kind of like when Jordy Nelson all of a sudden was good, and everybody's like, "What?" But then Jordy Nelson was the guy. You know what I mean? Like, there's been comparisons made that Alec Pierce could potentially develop into that. That's like his ceiling. Alec Pierce's ceiling could be Jordy Nelson. Potentially because of the physical attributes that he has.
He'd have to be deceptive about it, though.
He's got to be.
We're spending a lot of time talking about a 13th round pick.
Hey, listen,
like if that's what she's hoping for.
Dude, league winner. Anyway, New Orleans Saints, decent defensive pick. We don't need to talk about that. Eric's got a good team, probably going to contend for the playoffs. Also, should we move into formerly known as Dave's team, now known as Jacoby Marshall's team? And you know what? Jacoby picked a good year to inherit a team from Dave because it's the best team he's ever drafted.
The best team he's ever drafted.
And so let's sink our teeth into that one. Let's sink our teeth.
Best team he's ever drafted with some big old holes. I'm just going to start by the one at his tight end position. He doesn't have a tight end. He doesn't have one.
You can start Cole Kmet. Are you going to be happy about it? No, but you can.
He's the tight end 15 according to Fantasy Pro, so he's not even a starting tight end in a 12-team league.
And he's probably the third or fourth option on his own team. That's not what you want. And not a team like I would rather have Gerald Everett than him because of the amount of volume. Like the Chargers going to throw 50 passes a game. You know what I mean? I want the tight end on that squad because he's going to catch 6-7 targets. You know what I mean? Like that's what you want if you're going for a low bar tight end. But he does get CMC. He gets Chris Olave. Great ones to have on your team. I don't like Deebo Samuel. I think Deebo Samuel is going to be a very overrated pick, and it's gonna cause Chicago.
I know why you feel that way.
Yeah, well, we all know why. I mean, Brandon Ayuk is the man in town now. You know what I'm saying? But and Christian McCaffrey ate his lunch. And now you got them both on the same team. You don't want that. I had that experience last year. You don't want that. Christian McCaffrey.
Crazy athlete, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I'm kind of high on Deebo Samuel this year, but I wouldn't have taken him if I had McCaffrey because it's just too much in their first 3 picks.
If one has a game, the other one's not getting the receptions. They work in the same part of the field. It's not going to work.
And can't spend 3 picks on that.
If it was like a Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams where you got one guy at both positions short, but like they got George Kittle to add to it. You got to consider Ayuk, like you said. Just a lot of mouths to feed.
Well, and the thing is with Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, they work in different parts of the field. Devontae Adams is not taking Josh Jacobs' targets. Christian McCaffrey is taking Deebo Samuel's targets, and vice versa. So you're hamstringing your upside by doing that. But we wouldn't.
Which is a great thing to do if all you're trying to do is avoid the loser ladder, because it's also like raising your floor. You know what I'm saying? Like you're guaranteed to get those balls, but like I don't know. Are you drafting to not get last? Are you drafting to get first?
I mean, potentially. It was literally such a travesty that it cost somebody to leave the league. So apparently, that is something.
So we know what his motivations were.
This team looks like the team that wins make 5 or 6 games, but the games that it wins, it puts up 130 points. Because like when Kamara comes back week 4, have a Kamara, McCaffrey, Olave, Deebo, and Justin Fields as your starting 5 could explode.
And then as your third wide receiver, you take Terry McLaurin, who might not be right until week 6. And then you have old man Adam Thielen, who looks washed. And then
DeAndre Swift as your RB3.
Yeah, I mean, not great. And then Donta Foreman is your depth. He's currently the 3rd on the depth chart already.
That was his 3rd homer pick of the draft. He has 3 Bears, 2 of which were taken completely out of where they should have been.
Let's try to keep in mind too, like what we got to do moving forward, because like now Jacoby's got this squad that's got his problems, but it's got some major like stuff on it. So it's not like he got a team where he's not gonna be able to fucking make trades or like fill out a roster, because he's got some pretty strong units to do that with. I mean, trading CMC or Deebo feels aggressive, but like if you trade Deebo, if you trade Deebo, you have CMC and like someone's gonna give you good stuff for Deebo. You don't have to give him away. Just be like, look, this could help a team out there. Like, what can we do to move things around?
The hope for Jacoby has to be that somehow CMC and Deebo come out and have a great week 1 and then move one. That's the time. I mean, that's the time.
If I were him, I'd move before week 1.
I would move Debo before week 1, but that's me. Yeah.
Same. Because you can't have them both.
No.
Unless someone wants CMC so bad that he can really go, you know what I mean? Like maybe you move CMC
you get 3
and then
get 3 for 1 or something for him, maybe, or even a solid 2 for 1.
Yeah.
But then the golden egg on this team, the sleeper for Jacoby is Marvin Mims. If the Broncos come out and have a competent, not even good, a competent offense, okay, Marvin Mims is going to be the 2 on that team. Judy ain't right. Cortland Sutton is constantly injured. And Marvin Mims is a down the field threat. If somehow Russell Wilson remembers how to throw the deep balls that he used to throw in Seattle,
I don't think he's physically capable anymore.
We'll see.
What I'm saying. I mean, even Sean Payton's making excuses in the preseason about, well, the last guy fucked it up so bad that you know what I mean?
You got to give me more than 1 year.
And it's very possible. Like there's a large chance in my mind that there's no productive Broncos receivers for a second year in a row.
We'll see. I don't think so. I think you have a coach that's going to be able to scheme a way for that team to be 50% better than they were last year. I don't think you get a coach of that caliber that comes in and he's just going to lay a complete egg. Do I think they're going to compete in that division? I don't think so. Okay. But I think that they're going to be way more. You're not going to see the type of bonehead stuff that you saw the Broncos doing last year. You're not going to see that. It's going to be a well-run group. Now, whether or not they have the talent to actually do something, we'll see. But Sean Payton is going to have them boys ready to play.
Yeah.
I really do feel that.
It was pretty rough last year. What else on Jacoby's roster?
I think we can move it. I think we move on.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, dog. Glad you're in the league.
Yep. I think, we'll see. We'll see what he's got. We got Schrozy again with another solid draft, coming. Mr. Schrozy always shows up for the draft. He comes prepared. He doesn't I don't see him making any really wild picks. I don't know why we're taking 2 defenses and 2 tight ends. Seems like you're kind of capping yourself there a little bit, but
I think he just really likes his starters. So he's like, you know what? Let's diversify the other ones. He's not wrong.
I mean, I guess.
Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, then your third wide receiver, like 5 rounds later, is Mike Williams. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
That's where I got Mike Williams last year. I'm telling you, that's where you love him.
You know the pick I really like for him, especially because Kelsey's hurt now. Sky Moore. He might have Patty Mahomes' number 1 wide receiver to start the year, and he got him in the 9th round.
Yeah,
that might be nice. You know what I'm saying? Because Sky Moore, honestly, for the guys that are remaining there right now, it's Sky Moore, MVS, and Rashee Rice. Sky Moore is probably the most talented one of those guys right now, and he's gonna get targets. Like he has to. They got to throw the ball to somebody.
He doesn't have to. He definitely doesn't have to. That could definitely shift towards running back heavy kind of offense real quick. And the kind of game where I see him hitting like 6 receivers for like 30 or 40 yards apiece.
I think Sky Moore is talented, and he's going to be much more implemented in that offense this year. Does that mean he's going to get 100 targets? No, but he only got 30 last year. If he gets 70 and you got him in the 9th round, he's Patty Mahomes' offense. Like he's going to have value.
What week are you starting him over Mike Williams, T. Higgins, and Tyreek Hill though?
When they're injured. I mean, Mike Williams and T. Higgins get injured a lot. Like they both miss time, especially Mike Williams. But T. Higgins was a disappointment for a long stretch of last year. There's multiple weeks where he started a game, played 2 plays, and then was gone. You know what I mean? Like he did that several times last year.
Yeah.
I like that he gets Justin Herbert to go with Mike Williams, and we'll see what's up. I mean, he got one of the guys that we're really high on. We all love Justin Herbert. It's funny that we were all in love with Herbert and Fields, and none of us got them. But I think he's got a solid team. We'll see what happens. I'm not in love with Dameon Pierce and Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm not in love with that.
I'm not in love with Jahmyr Gibbs.
Could be awesome, but
I think Pierce will be good,
and he's unshown. You think Pierce will be?
I think Pierce will be good. I think Jahmyr. I think Jahmyr Gibbs. No.
I think you have to remember that Dameon Pierce was a 4th round pick, and they brought in a proven running back. Devin Singletary, like it or leave it, is a proven running back in the NFL, a guy that can get the ball and he can be efficient with it. He's not they did not sign him to not give him the ball. And that's going to take away because you also got to remember that Houston has one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Dameon Pierce was relevant because he got everything. He's not going to get everything this year. So if you knock him down 30%, what is he then? RB25? And that's your RB2 on this team? I don't like it.
Yeah, and if RB2 doesn't pan out, the next one in line is James Conner. And none of us like that.
Well, he's a so James Conner could be the Dameon Pierce of this year because I think James Conner is going to get everything.
James Conner already got to be Dameon Pierce for a year. Okay, we've already seen it.
He's going to be that again.
Two of our top 3 running backs are on 2 of the worst 3 football teams in the league.
You don't want that for your
and none of them are named Adrian Peterson. It doesn't work
because that means no touchdowns, and that doesn't work.
It means a loaded box.
Yeah. Or are we going to be afraid of Clayton too?
Love a loaded box.
Like, come on, man. Second box reference. Great. Should we move on to the soon to be formerly known as the champ, Mr. Wilson?
I'm already formally known as the champ.
Well, you are the champ still.
Something you wouldn't know anything about. Boom.
Well, technically,
your name's on the trophy, so don't pull that 5 years ago bullshit. Nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah, it makes you sound like a Bears fan.
Technically. Anyway.
Anyway. Yeah, let's talk about the fucking explosion of a draft I had. Oh.
Well, we were all worried that
went
away real quick.
Remember how high you were? Oh, I can't believe
you really wasn't that high on it. Wasn't nearly as high on it as I was on my team last year. There were some picks that I felt like I didn't pick in any mock draft I did. I didn't pick Jonathan Taylor or Cooper Kupp in a single mock draft I did.
Well,
but go
that
ahead.
That feeling's mutual, by the way.
But the Cooper Kupp in the second round, man, how do you not take Cooper Kupp when he falls to you at the 7th pick of the second round? It's just that in conjunction with Jonathan Taylor, and I might start the year 0-4.
You might.
You're gonna have a rough time. You know, I mean, their best bet is. I mean, you do have depth at wide receiver, though. I mean, you got Hopkins and Ayuk. They can hold down your 1 and 2 spot. You know, I mean, I really think they can. Your problem is going to be your second running back. That's your problem because Breece Hall.
A couple of dart throws right now, but that's all they are.
Yeah, I mean, your biggest hole on your team that you're going to have a hard time handling in the early part of the year is your RB3 spot because Breece Hill ain't going to be ready to go.
Well, I mean,
no, he's not. Breece isn't going to be ready to go. The other part of it is that what was it? So the 2 options I'm looking at now, Kendrick Miller and Zach Moss, both slim chances, but Zach Moss might be coming back from, I think it was a broken arm. He might play week 1. Kendrick Miller is going to get increased touches only because Kamara's out for 3 weeks with a suspension. But again,
that's when you need him.
These are dart throws. I'm not feeling good about either of those.
You go ahead and pick up Zach Moss, man. I think that man is not going to see the ball because you got I know, but you already got, like, here's the thing. Deion Jackson, is going to – Deion Jackson's going to be the passing down back. They have a rookie, a big-bodied rookie out of Northwestern, Evan Holt. Why would you not let him run the ball because he's healthy?
Nobody knows. I don't think the organization knows who's going to be the guy to start the season for first 4 weeks. It could be anybody.
It's going to be – Deion Jackson's is the favorite, clearly, because he's done it already for them.
Not from what I've been reading. The team doesn't really seem to know. Or it's just one of those situations where they're not talking about it. And if they're not talking about it, I'm looking at like, how do you know?
Because I've seen it on the field. Deion Jackson's the most talented running back of all those guys.
Are you going off of preseason games?
No, I'm going off of watching him play last year when he was explosive and he had multiple 100-yard games for them before he got hurt.
It's possible. It's possible that Zach Moss is completely useless and he's off my team in a week.
Also, the fact you got to remember is Zach Moss is not good. He's
not
I
didn't draft him.
I know, but he's just also like everybody wants.
I didn't choose him to be on my team at this point in the year.
Everybody in my dynasty league is talking Zach Moss can be a thing. I was like, guys, are we all forgetting the most important point that he sucks? Like, he's not good. Like, it doesn't matter.
It's his skill that's his ceiling, actually. So that's unfortunate.
He's not a breakaway runner. He's a plotting guy that is not a great tackle breaker. He's a 3-yard and cloud of dust guy. And, I mean, maybe it could work because of the threat of Richardson with an RPO. Maybe. But I just don't see it, man. I think Deion Jackson's the guy you want while Taylor's out. But we'll see. What else you got on your team? Anything?
I like Kittle only because I didn't get Darren Waller. But I don't know. I mean, I got some people in places. I can still see my team finishing strong because that's the way that I built them anyway. You know what I mean? I knew starting the year, Brees Hall wasn't going to be around much. So kind of catered that way. I think there's a chance Aaron Rodgers starts over Daniel Jones after a few weeks if that team's as scary as people are thinking they might be.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think the Jets are going to have a real problem with that O-line. That's what I think. Oh, yeah. Them tackles are bad. They are not good.
They're not very good.
No.
They're not very good.
They're going to have a problem.
But Aaron Rodgers gets that ball out. So
he does, man. But
you know what I mean?
Trust me, that man does not like taking sacks. He will be all over those tackles if he's taking too many hits.
We're gonna find out about it real soon.
Yep. So let's talk about Austin's team. Yeah, let's keep it rolling. So Austin, I felt like opened up
Austin's
the draft
our solo
strong.
Bears fan now. It's kind of a bummer.
Well, one is already too many. Man.
I'm just saying, like, having a bunch of punching bags in a room just feels nice. You can just like throw it everywhere.
We booted out a Bears fan and a Packers fan, so at least the ratio's even.
I mean, yeah, no,
we've got one Vikings fan, one Bears fan, and one Packers fan now.
That's right.
Next year we have to invite a Lions fan.
They don't exist.
They would be the coolest person in the room, by the way.
I mean, maybe. But anyhow, let's talk about his team. He opens up with Derrick Henry, Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris. Not a bad start.
I don't like Najee Harris.
I don't either, but as an RB2, you can live with him because of volume. That's why.
Yeah, but he's got his two running backs. The names are sexy, but it's a half PPR, and those guys aren't really involved much in the passing game.
I don't think that name Najee that's sexy either.
Najee's going to have a problem. He's going to have a problem this year because Jalen Warren is on the rise. Jalen Warren is putting on his best Tony Pollard impersonation.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's what's going to – because he's that type of player. He reminds me so much. This year's Jalen Warren is going to remind everybody so much of what Tony Pollard did his first year where he was relevant. And then look what he did the second year after that. He was eating Zeke's lunch, man. And then now Zeke's not even on the team. Took him 3 years. First year, relevant in the passing game, explosive. Second year was a split. Third year, it's his job. You know what I mean?
Well, it might not, and it might not take Ward that long either because Najee Harris is not the runner that Ezekiel was.
No, I mean let's give the man a slight amount of leeway because the fact that you got to remember he played most of last year with a broken foot. Mm-hmm. He had bone fractures in his foot the entire year. He wasn't right for like week 2, you know. And they had a terrible offensive line. Their offensive line has improved. Kenny Pickett's going to be a better quarterback this year. Okay, is he going to be wildly better? I don't think so, but he's going to be better. So, you know,
who else does he got on his running back depth? Because I would like to know where he's going to have to turn.
No, that's you.
He's got Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, Brian Robinson, and Roschon Johnson. That's it for running backs on that squad.
Brian Robinson's not bad.
If you got to rely on Brian Robinson to be your 2, I think there's a scenario in which that's good, but it kind of means something has to happen to Antonio Gibson.
His real problem is here, though. His wide receiver 2, his tight end 2. That was a terrible pick.
He's not even just for people that don't have it pulled up, Dawson Knox, who's the second tight end on his own team. According to Fantasy Pros, he's the tight end. We scroll down 23. If we did a 2 tight end league, he'd barely be a starter.
Yeah, what are we doing, man? Do we not know who Dalton Kincaid is? Like, come on.
He doesn't know who Dalton Kincaid is.
That pick and the John Mechie, the 3rd pick in the 10th round, I think are 2 of the worst picks of the whole draft.
John Mechie needed to go in the last round.
Man.
I wouldn't have been mad at it because John Mechie is an unknown and he was a playmaker in college and he missed last year. So maybe he's something. But he's
not
a
a bad
rounder.
pick as far as like potentially being like
the lottery pick,
influence.
But
it's a bad pick considering where you could have gotten him for something that in exchange for something more concrete.
So in his depth positions, the best pick he made was Roshan, because Roshan could actually be something this year, especially since he already locked down the number 2 spot. He already passed Donta Foreman. On the depth chart, Roshan's the number 2. Foreman's the number 3 now. So, Roshan could become something, but he's not going to see Jameson Williams till week 8. Okay?
He's not going to be on his roster, right?
No, you can't be, because people are going to get hurt. He's going to have to drop him.
I mean, he might be only for the sake that he's a Bear, and I don't even say that with shade. I just mean that, like, somebody's going to throw him in there. It's the guy that's high in his own supply.
That means
Williams
a line.
is a line. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were still talking about Roshan.
No.
Got it.
But, yeah, so Williams, man, not a great pick. There's no reason that anybody should have drafted him.
Nah, suspended for 2 months.
Yeah, and then I don't like Michael Pittman. You have very inaccurate rookie quarterback, not a good pick. And then so what you have a wide receiver is he better just hope his top 4 hold it down and don't get hurt, because if the moment they do, he's in trouble. Are
we making our first loser ladder pick here? Are we just saying it?
I don't like the draft must this year.
Ooh.
I don't like it. I think
if I'm a betting man, I'm putting him outside of the top 6.
Ooh, yeah.
That ain't looking like a playoff squad to me.
Him and Jacoby so far, if I'm thinking about it in all truth.
Well,
and it's only because
I don't see much for trade potential either. Like we talked about some of the teams, like Jacoby's team.
Yeah, you're right.
Having some options, go different directions.
Who's Austin waving in front of your face?
Yeah,
well, he's got Henry and Waddle. You can use.
He's got Henry and
but you got to start moving the only pieces.
But that's
you got.
it. Yeah. Does he have a tier 1 player?
Well, I mean, tier 1 is Henry for sure. Like Henry's still a top 5 back, right? Top 6, 7 back at worst. I mean, he's still going to do that.
I got to see him. I got to see him land outside of there before.
I think he's barely tier 1. Maybe if you consider him tier 1.
I disagree with that take.
With the addition of Hopkins, it improves his stock, because without Hopkins, I was much more worried because there was nothing on that team to defend other than Derrick Henry.
I agree with that, but I don't see a true first-round pick on this team.
Jalen Waddle could be considered a first-round pick, back-end first-round in some leagues. He has gone there. But you're right. I mean, Jalen Waddle usually is a round 2 pick. Derrick Henry is a first-round pick. It almost
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to Cody's team. Cody, what do you got? Talk your team.
What do I got? I don't know. Let's just run me down the top.
You got
pulled up over there.
You went Nick Chubb.
I remember Cody throwing something out after one of his picks that we'll talk about in a second that he hated. But then again, after the draft, I think you were how'd you say it?
Drunk?
Fuck! I've got some work to do. Fuck! I don't like it.
I will. Yeah, I'll divulge all of those emotions during and immediately after that draft. Not any confidence in this team whatsoever. And I woke up the next day and looked at it again. I'm like, okay, we're fine. I don't know why I was so doomsday the night of, but I wasn't feeling it. And it's because I didn't take hardly anybody on my team that I got in mock drafts. Kind of like you. I took some guys that I was straight up like, I'm not taking them because of where they're going to be available to me.
One of them you were saying out loud, Keenan Allen, I don't want him. I'm not going to take him. And then he was like the 5 picks before, you could see everybody off the ADP, and you're like, oh, fuck, they're going to make me do it. Fuck,
that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they made you take Keenan Allen, but I would much rather have Keenan Allen than Alexander Madison.
What do you think? What do you guys think about Keenan Allen for Debo?
It's a fair trade. I would rather have Keenan Allen.
I think it's cool.
Much rather have Keenan.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't veto that trade.
Because I'm telling you, I kind of disassociated when we were talking about Jacoby's team for a second. We talked about trades, and as soon as I got to think about Debo, I'm like, I could just go. I did get out of that Keenan Allen deal that I don't like, but I don't really like Debo that much either. So I don't know.
What are you gaining?
I'm giving Jacoby an out for the San Fran floor ceiling talk that we had, and me who thinks Keenan is a safe choice, whereas Debo is an electric one. Am I trying to get something different there? That's what I'm saying.
I don't think Debo is that anymore, though.
I don't either, and so I would have to involve other people, and so I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
What I see on your team is 2 very competent starting running backs, You got
Which
a
you love
little
to
bit,
see.
you've got a little bit of depth. I don't think Miles Sanders is going to do much because that team's going to be bad. You're probably going to get some value out of
and
Sam.
and contract work is okay. Rookie quarterback.
You
Rookie
still
quarterback.
got to have an offensive line to be a good running back. And they have a bad one.
Yeah.
But you know what? PFF actually ranked them inside the top 20. So they're not as bad as the Texans. PFF ranked their line within the top 20. And they usually do a pretty good job with the O-lines. So
hell yeah. Not as bad as the Texans, boys.
What do you think? What do you think some weak spot on your team is? Biggest weak spot? Quarterback?
Yes, which is why the dual quarterback situation looks like what it looks like, because there is the we're just gonna throw Dak Prescott in there and we're gonna be fine. But like I want that running back, quarterback, rookie sensation, Anthony Richardson, baby. I want to see volume carries. I want to see big men trying to hit him high. That's what I want to see.
255 pounds, 6'4", and 4'4", 40. Like, let's go. Let's go.
Maybe it takes them
nothing else. It's gonna be fun to have him on your team. Like when you start in that week, just to watch that man.
I agree. And like if I had to do it week 1, I don't know if I'm pulling that trigger, but like I can give it a month. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll lose a bunch in that first month. Then I can't take those chances. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
I think you just got to look at what the matchup is. You know, are they playing the Niners? Okay, well they probably don't play.
You don't
you
do
know what I mean?
You don't do it.
Like, are they playing like a mid-tier defense? Then let's go. Light it up, you know?
It's true. I think if I'm thinking about like I only need 2 running backs, right? Like, and I see a lot of RB2 question marks in a lot of teams, and I would like to have more depth there. So like I'm looking at trades, but it's hard. And I feel like while I have 2, there's a lot of people that have like 1.5. So that's fine. If Miles Sanders doesn't pan, I feel like I've got depth for someone who I don't need to. But like Amon-Ra, I think has the potential to be the wide receiver 1 when it's all said and done at the end of the year. Is it probable? But like outside of picking Justin Jefferson for that, who is? I don't know.
Amon-Ra is not going to get the touchdowns to do that. He will get the receptions. He's just not. He's just not going to. He's that's not that guy. He's not a touchdown guy. You know, he can do it.
Not. They don't have that Mr. What was it? 13 touchdown vulture. How many did Williams get?
Oh, Jamal, he had 18.
He's on record. So that might open it up a little bit. Hawkins not there anymore.
But someone's got to score those touchdowns, and I don't mind if it's number 14.
David Montgomery's there. He was brought in to do the same thing. So I don't think there's a loss there, really. And they obviously want somebody to keep doing that, or they wouldn't have brought in David Montgomery and gave him a 3-year contract.
Sure, but is David Montgomery putting up – if he's not putting up 18 touchdowns, there's still more to give to somebody else.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you're right. You're right. It's not really his play style, but I just like the what do they say? The return to the regression.
Regress to the mean.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Progress to the mean, equally true. If he's not a guy who's getting a lot of those, like the Julio Jones never getting in the end zone kind of thing. Well, you don't bet it. You don't bet him to not do it again.
It works both ways. The mean is the mean for a reason. You can regress backwards to it. You can regress upwards to it. You know, that's what it is. You know,
the mean is the mean for a reason.
That's right. There's the. You know what? Trademark that shit. That's true. Anyway.
I mean, also, I reached on an early defense because I had some beer in me, and I saw that first one go, and I got moved by the moment, boys. Not gonna lie.
I was talking to you during the draft. I said, "Hey, here comes the quarterback run," and then it happened. And then I said, "Hey, man, here comes the running back run." You're like, "Nah." I'm like, "God, it's the same people drafting after you." One went. They're all going, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were some runs.
It was, and I was victim to a defense, but you know what? I got a nasty defense, and I got a good roster.
You do. I mean, I would say you have an okay roster.
You already said I do, so why put another opinion on it?
It's above average.
What do you think? Oh, okay.
You could change his team name to the above average Cody's.
Yeah, the above average Cody's.
I would say I'm above average for Cody's because that pool is that's a rough one.
All right, let's move off of Cody's team. Let's talk Brant. Brant goes right off the top. He goes Bijan. I'm always excited about Bijan. Brant's going to have a good time with Bijan this series. It's going to be fun to watch. Comes back with CD and Josh Allen. You got to like that. But then after that, now we start getting into some questions for Brandon. You got Christian Watson. Okay, should be
high.
the one. Should be the one, but yeah, I don't really like him there. I would have taken DJ Moore. I would have taken well, let's see here. Where how did this go down? He couldn't have had any of those guys, but he could have had Keenan Allen. He could have had DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know. Amongst those names, I'm not that mad at it. Not that mad at it. Christian Watson, I think, has more upside than those other two guys. Those other two guys are safer picks, though.
I think it's criminal that Christian Watson is taken before DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins is an old man. Can't stay healthy.
I've watched an amount of NFL in my days, and I'm not there to say. I can't say it today. Maybe
I saw Hopkins come back after 6 weeks he didn't play last year. Stepped right in, scored anywhere from 10 to 18 points every week until Kyler Murray went out.
Yeah, and he was just in double coverage the whole time. It didn't matter.
You're not wrong. I mean, obviously we all were high on Darren Waller. He got Darren Waller. I like that. Darren Waller, I think he's got a great year.
He did get Darren Waller, and I'm a little mad about him getting Darren Waller.
I know. He got Khalil Herbert. I'm also high on Herbert this year. He does not have a ton of depth at running back. However, if things break
not a lot of people do.
For him, exactly, but if things break the right way for him in Pittsburgh, I know what I did.
I don't need to do that to you.
Yeah. If things break the right way for him in Pittsburgh, Jalen Warren can have a running back starting job, and then Brandt's team looks pretty set up,
Yeah.
Because I like Jahan Dotson and Gabe Davis where he got them too. Either one of those guys are starters. They could be a starter.
I like Jahan Dotson. I gotta let Gabe Davis just off into the sunset.
Brent's got a good track record of picking people that everybody else is kind of low on or not thinking about, like paying out. Like think about Saquon Barkley last year as his first round pick. And he's like, I'm looking at like people that might fit that bill, like Michael Thomas is his 11th round pick, Tyler Algier in the 12th round, KJ Osborne in the 13th. Like
I think KJ Osborne is the best pick of his draft.
KJ Osborne could end up being the 2 on that team if the rookie gets off to a slow start, and that would suck for me. But yeah, I think Brandt has a solid team. I mean, he's in the mix. He's very much in the mix. He's light on running back, but I think he's solid.
I don't see a weak spot.
Running back, but that's.
I mean, sure, relative to the rest of the team.
What is that?
I don't see anything.
I'm sorry, I know we just said it, but what is his RB2?
Khalil Herbert. He's got Jalen Warren and Alex.
Got it. And I'm not near as high on Khalil Herbert as Patrick is, so I think it's tough having to start Khalil Herbert.
I think he's fine, but the reason why I say he's light on running back because I don't think he has a real option after those two.
It could blow up in his face too, because again, nobody's actually seen Bijan do a regular season NFL snap too. And there's a lot of. He's probably fine.
Yeah.
He's going on the
but you got to think about that.
But you get what I'm saying. If it blows up, it's gonna really blow up.
That's fair, but
you can't win your league on draft night, but you can lose it. And like that's one of those things. Like, do I take a rookie in the first round? I just can't.
And if you do I then not take another running back for 5 more rounds? You know what I mean? That's where it might blow up.
It's such a huge anchor. That's
Bijan,
such a huge anchor.
Bijan is that dude, man.
He might be, but there's risks everywhere, right?
And even then, that's like the biggest risk I can think about his team. I like his team a lot.
He's that dude, and he is on the team that had the #1 PFF rated run blocking team last year, and it wasn't close.
Thanks to Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a blocker.
Yeah. Because he sure the hell was catching passes.
Hell of a blocker.
Yeah. God damn it. Arthur Smith, what have you done? Todd's team starts off with Saquon, goes Devontae, Jalen Hurts, DJ Moore, James Cook. I love the way he started, and it pissed me off. He took James Cook right in front of me, and he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he did.
On fucking purpose.
Yeah, he did.
Son of a bitch. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Love you, Todd.
He knew exactly what I wanted.
I love you, Todd.
It was such a slap in the fucking face.
Is that why you had to get Madison?
I had to. I was because I was like, okay, like this is what happened to me. This was my emotional experience. And let's save it. I'll go into it later.
Talk about it on your team.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he opens up hot. I like Tyler Lockett in the 6th round. Fine pick. Dalvin. as your third running back, not a bad option.
Saquon Barkley and Devonta Adams is your 1-and-1 for those positions is fantastic.
He's got a lot of upside. I mean, later on, now we get into Brandon Cooks, McKinnon, Freiermuth, Beckham. All those guys could blow up in your face. Like they could not work out. Goes Geno for some depth. Takes Kincaid. I like what he did with his tight ends. One of those young guys is probably going to be fine. And so he's going to have something either way. He goes Green Bay, nod to the Packers defense that could be this year.
Who do they play week 1?
They play the Bears.
That's why he took them?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I would pick on the Bears offense to start
the
year.
I mean, if he's got the Packers defense, he's streaming, right?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he thinks they're going to be good because they could be good, you know? Anyway, Todd's got a solid team, especially up top. Up top, he's got a lot of firepower. You know, he's got some touchdown potential with those top 4 picks.
It's a bummer that Jalen Hurts is gonna fall back down so hard.
Oh yeah, you wish. Dude.
That's gonna ruin his team. It's gonna ruin his team, and I feel bad about it.
I love how we've come full circle. The season starting, so Cody just has to hate Jalen Hurts, even after he's admitted that he's a great quarterback. You know,
it's for the story. It's a good story.
My hands are tied.
Yeah,
okay? Yeah. Like, what do you want from me?
I feel you. You know, I mean, I can admit that Justin Fields is a good quarterback, and we're still
in a fantasy league, right?
Anyhow, let's talk about Allen's team. Let's keep it rolling. Allen opens up with Tony Pollard, Garrett Wilson, Travis Etienne, DK Metcalf, and Rashad White. I like it. And then he gets.
I was actually really surprised to see Tony Pollard go in the first round of the draft.
Oh, I was not.
I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it.
I think Tony Pollard's more of a first-round pick than Derrick Henry.
Really?
Yeah. Some people think Tony Pollard might be the RB1 this year.
He has the potential to be.
I'm
talking ADP, not from what I think it can happen. I just mean like from what I've seen. I've seen Tony Pollard going like overall pick right about like 13 through 16.
Well, you got to remember in our league, most people in our league have played standard for much longer than they've played half PPR. Yeah. And so our league still weights so heavy towards the running backs. And you saw that in this draft clearly. I mean, way more running backs.
Look at the top of the board. Look how many people in the first 2 rounds have the color red and the color blue. Yeah. That's 1 wide receiver, 1 running back. It's almost I think it's everyone but like 3 people.
Everybody but me, actually.
Well, and we started off
Luis and
Strozzi. Yeah.
We started off Jefferson, Chase, and even though that's what all the numbers like indicate anyway, I remember thinking like I haven't seen 2 wide receivers go 1-2 before. Like, and to see our league, like, you know, doing them like, okay, you know,
people
making the choices like yeah. And I really thought I had a chance to get Eckler. I really did. Like blue, CMC, of course, another blue. And I'm like, all right, Austin Eckler, baby, we're gonna get him again. And next one,
you can't be mad at Chubb, man. Chubb's gonna be great.
No, absolutely not.
But we're off the rails. Back to Allen's team. Yeah. After Watson, I see his draft breakdown a little bit. He goes George Pickens. George Pickens could be the best second-year wide receiver. He could be second fiddle to Deontay Johnson. We just don't know.
Yep. Don't know. Don't want Pittsburgh offensive players. Don't want them.
Jerry Jeudy was going to be great, but Allen must not heard about the injury. Because that's not what you want there.
Love that. Love that for Allen.
But you know what? He did end up getting a solid wide receiver 3 in Elijah Moore, I feel like. Because I think Elijah Moore could have a year this year. Deshaun Watson.
I would agree with that. I like that.
He's also got some big upside players who, if they pan out, could be big for him. And one of them being Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt is an absolute freaking speed demon in New York. He could end up being a down the field threat for if this somehow is the year where Daniel Jones throws the deep ball like Josh Allen did. Jalen Hyatt could be a revelation because that man is fast as hell. He's so fast.
How do we feel about Allen's quarterback situation? Deshaun Watson, and then in the last round he took C.J. Stroud.
Why are we taking C.J. Stroud?
That didn't seem like a very
there's no reason to have him on your team, man. He's not going to be good this year. That team's not going to be good, and he's not going to be good.
I mean, what other quarterbacks could he have taken in the last round? Because I think maybe the mindset was that he needed somebody else behind Watson, but maybe just waited too long.
But why? There's plenty of guys that are on waivers right now that you could have taken. You know, he could have taken. He could have taken Michael Gallup, Darnell Mooney, Cortland Sutton, Zamir White. All of those would have been better picks than C.J. Stroud.
I meant like as a quarterback option.
Yeah, I mean, look at who's on the waiver wire now. There's people on the waiver that are better than C.J. Stroud available.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who, and I just know that they exist.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who; they're all better.
Yeah, I guess that was the point I was making.
Well, shouldn't it matter who if you don't have? Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett,
Sam Howell, all of them. Derek Carr's on waivers.
Yeah,
like come on, man, they're all better than him. You know?
Maybe week 1 or 2, but the rookie idea is that maybe it pans out later in the season. I agree, it's a bad pick, but
it ain't gonna pan out for the Texans this year. It just ain't gonna happen. Yeah, their offensive line is too bad. They maybe have the right coach now. D'Amico Ryans is maybe what they need down there, you know. And he comes from there, you know what I mean. So he has cred in Houston, you know, and he did great things with the Niners, and I think he's a great defensive coach. He could go out there to Houston and do what Robert Saleh is doing in New York. It's very possible, but Robert Saleh didn't do that in 1 year. This is year 3 for Robert Saleh. You know,
also 15 rounds in this draft, and Allen drafted 8 wide receivers.
Yeah, he needs
one over the max. We had to literally boot one of them off of his team when we put the draft results in.
Yeah. Well, you know, hey, who are we to criticize Allen, man? He's won the points title twice, you know?
I mean, but we're talking about
as a champion, I'm gonna go ahead and criticize something that he's never done, which is win the league. So
that's fine.
You say, who are we? I'm like, I'll tell you who we are.
That's fair. All right. Well, let's blow past that and move into Luis's team, another newcomer to the league.
My baby boy.
Luis pops off the draft with Mr. Kelsey and Mahomes stack. You gotta love that.
You gotta love that until like this week's news.
Kelsey will be back, but he ain't playing this week, right?
Anytime your first round pick is off the board,
it's not great.
It's not good.
And now I wish we didn't switch
the Patty Mahomes Kelsey
death.
stack in the 11th pick and the second pick of the second round, unorthodox, but like still could very much work.
You know what that's gonna mean? That's gonna mean when Luis is out of playoff contention and he's got 2 fucking games left against people that do, they're just gonna sweat their fucking nuts off watching Travis Kelsey score 4 touchdowns.
Late season Mahomes.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's the problem because that's when they really start like ripping off the big games.
It's true. I want to play Luis early,
but hey, he's got Kyle Pitts to put in for Kelsey.
Hey, what a jokes on us.
And out. I think that was
fucking funny. Egg all over my face for thinking that was a bad move.
That was funny, Brant today. Hey, genius move, man. That was good. Love when Brant slides in with a subtle dig.
Oh yeah,
Brant's been getting after a little bit with them subtle little digs.
I know. I love it.
They're subtle compared to the way you do it.
Yeah, you're the least subtle person there ever fucking was, Gay.
A little subtle.
Anyhow, so we go Ramondre Stevenson. I like that. Okay, he's a little bit capped by Zeke Elliott, but I think Ramondre's still going to be good. He's going to be efficient. You get Amari Cooper, like it. That's a great wide receiver 1. Based on the first 3 picks he took, getting Amari Cooper, you got to feel good about that because he can hold down that spot. J.K. Dobbins, we'll see. It's the story's not written on him yet. I think the offense is going to be good. Maybe J.K. Dobbins will come through for him. This big question mark comes right now. Mike Evans and Marquise Brown. Can either one of them put up a realistic wide receiver 2 season? Maybe. But only maybe. You know,
I think they're more flex territory, but it's possible.
Yeah. And then Kyle Pitts, because he took Kyle Pitts, he gets handicapped there again. He doesn't have depth. And then he takes Philadelphia. Going to be a good defense, sure. But you really only have 2 starting backfields because you have Zeke and Ramondre, but that's only one backfield. And then you have JK. Let's say JK gets hurt. You only got one backfield, my man. That's not great.
Having Ramondre and Zeke on the same roster just screams somebody that hasn't played fantasy football before, and only from the sake that they don't know how frustrating that is to pick which one of those guys to start every week. Once one of them has a good week and then the other one has a good week the following week.
And you know that Belichick is going to do that shit.
Because you're never starting both of them, right? Unless you just out of options.
Yeah.
You're never starting both of them unless the Patriots are playing Houston. Then go ahead.
Then go ahead.
Or they're playing Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
Biggest point of annoyance for me and Luis's fucking draft, and it only kind of has anything to do with his draft, is that he fucking named his team Lamar Time, but he drafted Patrick Mahomes.
What are you doing, dude?
And it wasn't like Lamar was taken from him. Like, he took Patrick Mahomes as the first quarterback off the board.
And then named his team Lamar Time.
Yeah, also, get a little bit more creative.
He needs to be shamed into changing that team name. It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Also, be a little bit more creative. Jack's on, Jack's off. Much better. Let's be real. Come on.
Here you go.
It is better.
It is better.
It's great.
But, I mean, we're like an hour into a podcast. There's no way Luis, sat here and listened to all this.
Oh, he will.
We're going to put it on at the gym. Hey, Luis, if you're at the gym listening to this, you're making too much noise. Please keep it down.
And if you don't listen
get really insecure about how much grunting you're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to Clockwork Orange it. Yeah.
Can you tell me what that means?
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange you've never seen it?
No, you old man.
Come on.
Were you born in 1976?
Oh, do you not respect art? You shallow fucks. Stanley Kubrick, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Clockwork Orange.
Stanley Kubrick, were you born in 1973?
I'm a man of culture.
All I did was ask you to explain it.
No, so basically the idea
I attacked you personally.
Clockwork, well, that's to be expected.
Clockwork Orange. God damn it.
Clockwork Orange is a movie about this horrible criminal murderer guy, right? That they do this type of therapy on where they try to basically rebuild his mind. And one of the therapies that they do is they tape his eyelids open and force him to watch this super violent imagery or something. It's like some part of a type of therapy, or innovative thing that they're doing with him. But it's like this really dark kind of weird film. And so when I say Clockwork Orange, I mean I'm gonna tape your eyelids open and make you watch this podcast. Anyway.
Okay.
That's where it was.
I like it.
All right,
thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it because I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
Yeah, well, now you do. So if I were to say I'm gonna Clockwork Orange you a little.
So is that that cliche of having your eyelids forced open is that where that comes from?
Absolutely.
Because I've seen that used tons and tons of times, but I've never been there for the originality of that cliche.
It's 100% a nod to Clockwork Orange. That's what
I feel cultured.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm glad we welcomed that with open arms.
You're welcome, guys.
I feel like I was born in 1973.
Now, anyhow, if we're done with Patrick's culture lessons for the league, let's get on to my masterpiece of a team that I put together.
The oldest 30-year-old I
The
know.
last pick in the draft.
Last pick, and I traded back for it too. And you know what? I traded back from fourth. I traded with Strozzi.
Yeah, you probably got a better running back if you didn't do that.
That's fair, but I like picking on the turn. The reason why is because, hey, I got the best starting wide receivers of any. The AJ Brown and Stephon Diggs as the 1-2. Let's go, baby.
I don't know.
And then we take. There's not anybody that has a better pair than me. There's not. Rankings would say so. No, you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, midseason might show Jamar Chase and Calvin Ridley is a better pair, but we'll see.
That could be. That's the only one that contends, and that's why I'm mad that she has a better team than me.
What about Justin Jefferson?
Let's talk about how good my team is because we gotta live with confidence, boys. Now, here's the thing: Lamar Jackson. He fell there, and I didn't want to not get a top tier quarterback this year. I got stuck with Kyler Murray last year, and we're not doing that. Okay. Lamar Jackson, okay, if Lamar Jackson lets me down, it's going to be because he gets hurt, not because he sucks.
Was that the third quarterback taken?
The fourth.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he took Lamar and Andrews at the turn back to back.
Yeah, because why not? They're both there. I'm going to get them. Why not do that? Give me the
last
stack.
year. That's why not.
Listen,
sorry.
I'm high on the offense that they're going to have this year. What scares me a little bit is that Mark Andrews What scares me a little bit is that Mark Andrews is a little bit banged up already going into the year. I don't like that.
Is he? What's he doing?
Yeah, they haven't disclosed it, which is kind of weird. But he was back at practice today. Puts a few more together. He'll start. We'll see how he looks.
He'll start.
But then you get
play for a quarter. He'll sit the rest out.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I won't need it. It'll be fine. Alexander Madison, obviously, we all know how brutal of a pick that was. I'm so upset that he has to be my RB1. And if he turns out to be great, it'll be the greatest.
RB1, Alexander Madison. RB2, David Montgomery. RB3, Javonte Williams.
I'm not super upset at the three of them.
Honestly, Javonte Williams is just as good as Alexander Madison. So, who do you start?
Well, Javonte is my flex guy.
You got Tank Bigsby and Rashad Penny, so your depth is about as bad as your starters.
Yeah, but they're still there somehow.
Hey, one of those guys might get you 8 points a week, baby.
Hell yeah, dog!
All five of those guys are going to get touches.
He's got 4 solid RB3s. Okay, you can get off this man.
Oh, okay, sure. All right, listen.
How are you going to decide who to put in your flex spot?
Because they all belong there.
Listen, it's all going to be. Listen, check it out. Alexander Madison, this guy over here. Alexander Madison, if he ends up being the RB15, huge fucking win for me. And
I love that you have to now spend your time flipping the script on how you feel about that guy.
Oh, yeah.
We got hours of video evidence of you shitting on him, and now you're going to tell us why he's a bright spot on your team.
Guys, locked and loaded. He's been waiting in the wings for a starting opportunity for a long time. He deserves it. The man's ready. He's an efficient running back. He's going to be great, folks. Alexander Madison, RB1 season. Let's go.
When whatever sentient living species takes over, after our existence is all washed, and they can somehow no, when they have the capability to understand all human dialogue and intellect and thought that have been processed in a matter of a short span of time, they're gonna come across this little fucking bite. When it comes from 2 months ago of this podcast to now, they're I don't know what happened with some cat named Alexander Madison.
Hey, listen.
But things are different now.
Alexander Madison. Yeah, you know what's different now? He's not my team. That's right.
They're going to use this moment to this here is what we will teach about humanity. The duality of man.
Alexander Madison. The world waits in the wings for you. Let's go. Come on.
No,
Patrick's hanging his hat on two divisional rival running backs.
Patrick said in this podcast, he's well, maybe he could be as high as an RB15. That's your RB1, dog.
That's right.
That's a maybe. You said a maybe.
You know how 15 is less than 12? You didn't get an RB1 for our league.
I have David Montgomery who's going to score all the touchdowns. That's a maybe. If Javonte by week 5 is ready to go, baby, and he's Sean Payton's starting running back, let's go. I'm fine. Because then I got Jordan Addison.
Who's Jackson Smith's already back for Sean Payton right now?
Javonte Williams starting week 1. Look at the projections. Absolutely he is. No, he is. Look it up. It's in a book.
Yeah, I looked it up. It said you fucking blow.
Jordan Addison.
That was
That's my wide receiver 3. I like it. Jackson Smith, already back from his wrist surgery, already practicing. Might start week 1. Let's go. Okay. We got Romeo Dobbs and Harris Campbell. Also starters.
All right, so what if you had to pick a weakness on your roster?
I mean, running back, clearly. Everybody knows.
I wasn't sure you knew, so it feels good to hear it. You say
if my team were a city, the Hollywood sign that you see off in the distance, it would be glaring running back weakness. If my fantasy team was a city, sign on the hill says, man has no running backs. That's what it would be. But I think out of those 5 guys, I think I'm going to be able to shake a couple of $50 out of my pocket. One of them's going to be okay. A couple of them are going to be okay. That's how I feel about those 5 guys.
Realistically, you have to make some trades.
Maybe. I'm not booked on that because here's the thing. Rashad Penny is going to be the starter for the best offensive line in the league. If that man somehow is not injured, okay, That man somehow is not injured.
Somehow.
Some
way.
Okay, let me throw some stats at you. Rashad Penny in the games that he played, okay, and there's a threshold that they used. It was like running backs that had 50 or more carries or whatever. It started so and so games.
They hadn't been injured yet. Yeah, of course.
No. It was played in at least like 7 games.
Oh, that wasn't one of the qualifiers?
Carries. Listen, guy.
Interesting.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Because he doesn't fit that box now.
That's fine, man. I don't listen, I need him to play 4 or 5 weeks until Javante's okay. All right? We're gonna play Javante.
I thought Javante was starting week 1.
We're gonna play him week 1 because he's Javante, but when he sucks, we throw in Rashad Penny. Okay, you see what I do here.
Let me go back to your quarterback position too, because you got Lamar Jackson. If you're looking at season to season, games played, rookie year, only time he's played all 16 games. Well, will be now 17, but the time it was 16. The following 2 years, 15 and 15. Last 2 years, he's played 12 and 12. He's played less games every season, and you didn't draft another quarterback.
Yeah, and
so if he falls down, that's a hole. Yeah.
And you know who's on waivers?
Kirk Cousins.
Derek Carr.
Let's go. I'm fine. Hey, remember when I beat you with Sam Darnold?
Oh, man. Oh, listen to this guy.
Sound of a desperate man, everybody.
Well, sound of the man that won a game or 2 with Sam Darnold. So, hey, I think we'll figure it out.
Is your goal in fantasy football to win a couple games in the year?
There you go. Let's talk about this.
Coming from the guy who held down the bye last year in our league, had one of the best records in our league.
Yeah, what'd you do with that?
What did I do that by?
You only got the bye because I pissed it away, and then I still won the championship.
And I still beat you with Sam Darnold, man. The wins, the losses don't lie. That's all I'm saying.
But the championship.
Do I need to go get the trophy out of the card? Because that doesn't lie either.
Hey, so that
what's it doing in the card?
Talk about
collect the dust.
Let's talk about week 1.
That's a hard end to try to earn it.
Let's talk about week 1 and get the fuck out of here, huh?
Yeah, let's talk about week 1. Let's talk about week 1.
Wait. Since we got everybody, before we dive into since we're going cumulative, give me your top 3 and bottom 3 for either for season outlook or for just draft performance.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go with season outlook with my top 3, and I'm gonna go with Todd, Erica, and Trish. Why not?
Why not? Because I wasn't in that list. Come on, are you kidding me? Look at the starting lineups of those squads.
Yeah, they're all better than yours. What are you talking
Unbelievable.
about? Unbelievable. Fucking guy. Living in a world of denial.
All right, who'd you say was your top 3? You said
Todd. I didn't rank them, but Todd, Erica, and Trish. I think they had great drafts.
Yep. Bottom 3?
It's got to be Jacoby, who didn't do the draft, Luis, and Austin.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. What you got?
In my bottoms, I got Jacoby, Austin, Allen, and the whole Travis Kelce news makes it feel different, but I'm just going off the draft, not that news. So
that's fair.
Because if I'm going just off injury news too, then all of a sudden I'm starting to feel that way about Jake's team.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So I took. Sorry, go ahead.
So for on the bottom, I got to go, I think, Austin, Jacoby, Allen. And then on the tops, I like Strohs, Trish, Todd.
Okay. What do you get?
Because I'm not going to pick my own team.
Yeah, of course.
That's a good move. And those 10 minutes we had to spare before we started the pod today, I took everybody's starting roster minus defense and kicker, right? Just so everybody knows what I'm working with here.
Oh, well, not my team can't win because kicker and defense I'm solid at.
There you go. And I just cross-referenced them with the Fantasy Pros overall ranking list, right?
So I killed defense and kicker.
And I added up all those numbers and I just ranked them. So what this doesn't do is account for any sleepers or depth. What it does do is kind of give a representation of who's got the most reaches in their starting lineup. Mm-hmm. And I added them up. And the best 3 scores, Patrick with the best, number 1. Number 2 was Luis. Now, this is only slightly affected by the Kelce news.
Yeah.
3 was Trisha right behind him. And those 3, bam, bam, bam. And then right behind him, Cody and Brant. The bottom 3, and 2 of them by a margin. Just so you can kind of get what numbers we're looking at here. Patrick, all your people added up to a ranking of 273. You go all the way down to Erica, who's the 9th place. It's only 338, right? It's kind of a small range.
Okay, there's where
Austin 509.
Ooh.
Dave's team 471.
Ooh.
So like huge reaches in their starting lineup.
What
and
are they
Allen
doing to Bears
in
fans in the world?
3.
Why? Why do Bears fans do that to each other?
I mean, I don't understand.
So according to that list, Austin's shooting with the most work to do, and Patrick's got the least work to do with their current starting lineup.
We know. It's fine. We know what we got.
Yeah, we know.
I did that too.
See, notice how like that say like, hey, put the least amount of work in, Patrick. But Patrick's gonna put the most amount of work in. That's why he's not gonna finish high. That's the damnable misery of it.
Oh,
like
hey,
he's
man.
like, yeah, hey, hands off, man.
I love how it's all gonna be on record when I'm bringing home that sweet trophy.
No, you're
not.
Right.
Anyhow, we built a squad, sir, and that squad's built to last. Now, anyhow, okay, let's talk about week 1.
Building and just forgot to insert a running back room.
Let's talk about week 1 real quick, and then let's get out of here. Okay,
your running back's in the parking lot.
Listen. Okay, now here's what I got on mine. I'm just going to read them off. My first matchup is mine. Mine's versus Austin. I'm picking B clearly. What you guys got?
Well, Austin's got the maybe worst team in the league, so like, I mean, begrudgingly, sir, I'm going to pick you.
That again.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, on to the next one. I got Todd versus Cody. This is anybody's game to me.
That's a close bill.
Oh, let's look at the matchups a little bit.
I like Jalen Hurts being in New England.
Yeah, he's got Jalen Hurts against New England. He's got James
Saquon
against the Jets.
Saquon against Dallas. See what I'm saying?
Amon-Ra against Kansas City. I'm picking Cody.
Yep, you have better matchups.
Yeah,
you absolutely do. He's got hard matchups week 1, so I'm going Cody by hair. Allen never starts his team, so I can't look at that properly. But he's playing Jacoby. I say Allen wins.
I'm gonna pick Jacoby because this whole not putting a starting lineup thing is just annoying, and I refuse to play into it.
I'll go with Allen for the sake that Jacoby's still hinging on the Alvin Kamara.
We all got to pick an upset of the week, right?
Sure, so.
Jacoby's my guy. Upset pick of the week.
That's fair. I'll pick an upset here. So we got Brent and Erica. I'm going Erica there.
Let's see.
Why? Because she's got a better team, man.
You think so?
Absolutely. She's also, I mean, Jacobs is playing at Denver. That's not great. I think Trevor Lawrence stomps all over Indy. Cam Akers, I think, can run the ball against Seattle. Chase is going to be fine. I think she's going to be fine.
Honestly looking at the matchups
got a better
again.
Team, but I think Erica's got better matchups.
Agreed.
I'm probably vote Erica.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them have terrible matchups, actually, but Erica's.
They don't.
I think
Erica's looking
better.
at Josh Allen against the Jets, but
I think Erica's are better.
Yeah. And then we have Trish versus Luis. Luis is actually favored slightly in this matchup. I like what he gets with J.K. Dobbins going into Houston. That's going to be a punching bag all year long. He doesn't have Travis Kelce, though, so he's going to have to start somebody else there. And I don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah.
Who's he going to start? Marquise Brown and his flex, maybe? That's probably the move. Jonathan Mingo, maybe? Kenny Gaines? It's got to be one of the right receivers.
Maybe Tyler Boyd? I don't know. Probably Marquise Brown. But
we don't
throwing
know.
the ball? Is
Josh hasn't been officially rolled out yet, has he? Sorry to backtrack a little bit.
No, he ain't playing.
He hasn't.
He sprained his knee, man. He ain't playing.
Hasn't been ruled out.
It's a Thursday game. He ain't going to practice tomorrow. He ain't playing.
I hear you. Okay. The man's a bit theatrical.
Are you picking Trisha then?
I'm going Trish because
I think I'm picking Trish because she got a better team just overall.
He's got a better team, and one of his best players is out.
Yeah.
So his first round pick is out.
Yep.
That's a good safe bet.
Yep.
You versus Strozy, Jake. I got to go Stroz in the Battle of the Jakes. I love we get a Battle of Jakes week 1. How fun is that?
I know we played 3 times last year. I'm going to start it off.
Yep.
Dang.
Nice work on the vanilla victory, too, by the way. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is.
But you're still going to lose week 1 all the same because you're
always
Kendre Miller.
This man's always been good for
I think there's going to be a running back that sneaks into that RB2 spot, gets me 10, and gets me a lucky win. That's what I'm picking.
It's going to be hard to see Daniel Jones perform week 1 against that Cowboy defense, man. That's like that. I don't get me wrong. I haven't gotten all the way down these matchups yet because I saw that very first one, and I was like, "Good."
And I picked Aaron Rodgers as a backup for like tough weeks, but
Buffalo.
He's playing Buffalo, so like.
So take the guy that runs.
Yeah. I also think the Lions are going to light up the Chiefs.
Ooh.
I think the Lions are going to light them up.
I think they are too, and I think Amon-Ra's gonna start me off good.
Well, the meaning, I think Jahmyr Gibbs can have himself a game.
Who am I kidding? I'm gonna get my ass kicked this week.
Yeah, I think you're gonna lose, man. I think you're gonna lose.
I'm trying to hold out hope, but fuck me, man. My second and third round pick out probably week 1.
If you scrape through with a 500 record in the first 4 weeks, you should feel happy.
That's kind of what I'm going for. If I can win 2 out of 4, if I can win 1 out of 4, I'll still feel pretty good. What a narrative
to start.
Yeah. Well,
hey man, guys, you know how it goes. Don't get hot early, get hot late.
Or
it's like being hot on time.
Hot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but none of us have ever done that. So,
well,
this year goals, I guess.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
be the first. I'm gonna run the table. When I go undefeated, you'll know what it looks like.
You go undefeated, I will give you your dues, but you fucking won't.
Alexander Madison.
Anyway, I think that's it. I gotta eat. I'm dying. We did do it. The league kicks off officially on Thursday. I can't wait. A great game in store. A lot of drama there. I think the Detroit Lions are going to put a stamp on their season to start. I think they're going to come out and they're going to beat KC and Stephen A. and all them motherfuckers going to be talking about it for 2 days. It's Kansas City in trouble, all this other stuff. I think Detroit's winning that.
If it wasn't a Thursday night opening night at Arrowhead game, I would probably be like, all right, cool. I like that pick. That's fun. It's exciting. It's going to be so fucking loud in that stadium. Doesn't matter if Kelsey plays or not. She's going to win by 10 minimum.
Dan Campbell is going to have his boys ready to play, man. That game's going to be saucy.
Get him as ready as you want. You won't be able to hear anything.
Aiden Hutchinson's going to be all
Can't
over.
Wait. I'm going to have so much fun watching that shit and yelling at people in a bar.
It's going to be great.
Fuck.
Can't wait, dude. We got less than 48 hours.
I can't wait to give the bartender all my money. It's gonna be awesome. Sam.
Nice. I totally did not place the windows properly in this one, so apologies for the points, guys. But just deal with it. I didn't do that up top, so we'll just remind me next time.
I did a lot of this. I did a lot of this.
Yeah, I know, and it was great. I just stuck with it.
What are you doing?
Just, come on, man.
What are you doing?
My dog shit on my floor. Okay, have some sympathy.
sounds like you deserved it.
Dog shit on his floor, so we shit on our fucking structure.
I heard you took Alexander Madison as your first running back.
That's right.
You shit all over the floor.
That's right.
I'll show him. I'll put my box in a different spot.
She shit all over the floor like I shit all over that draft. Now, all right. With that. With that, we're going to sign off, folks. Thanks for listening. It's been another week. Dundee League Podcast. Good times. Take it easy, gentlemen. Peace.